Under the Scope.
Hey, Scope people. Jared, Adam,
Hi.
Shane, and Mandy's hiding in the back. There she is.
Full house here, Studio Cruise.
We are broadcasting you another
Get comfortable here.
movie review in our winter movie review series, yet to be named. Adam, do you have a name for our Scope review series?
The Scope's Winter Wonderful Wonderland of Film.
We'll take that one and
Yes, well,
we'll focus group that
we'll
one.
slip that right in the back. We'll slip that right in the back pocket.
Hold for a cut.
What do we see?
And
All
cut.
right.
Today we saw a super advanced screening of the latest directorial / starring role for Sir Ben Stiller.
Is he a sir?
He's
do
a
we,
sir.
Do we knight people?
He
on
was
this
knighted
country?
after this movie. Jared,
All right.
what was the name of this movie?
This is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Secret Life. Not so secret anymore.
It's out there on screen for people to see and to revel in.
We are well versed. So, from what I understand, this movie is based on a book, Adam.
Yep.
Which, according to Jared, this movie is a remake of an old movie.
Well, hello. Well, that's exciting. All right.
Keep that in. Keep that in.
All right, let's keep going here. I don't know what happened there.
It just fell.
Cold. I bet it's too cold.
It's too
I
cold.
kept the thing warm. Anyway, we're still going.
Okay, so a
According
remake.
to IMDb, it's a remake. I don't know anything beyond that.
This movie has been compared to Forrest Gump in some of the early reviews. It
Okay.
is a...
And we're going to be holding it from now on.
All right, hold on to that. It's good stuff, Jared. We're going to get 6 or 7 more views because of that on Facebook, on YouTube.
Right. Keep going.
Okay, so it is a world-spanning story about a gentleman who's got sort of a boring life. He is a negative organizer at the Time magazine.
He's a negative asset manager.
Thank you very much.
Negative asset manager.
Not meaning that he negatively controls assets.
No, he controls
Actual
negatives.
film negatives.
Film negatives. He has an
Kids
archive.
don't know what negatives are.
No, their kids are way out of touch. So, so we find out, just like in the real world, Time magazine is going out of business, and
Well, Life magazine. let's be
I'm
true.
sorry, Life magazine is going.
They've been acquired, and there is now a team led by Adam Scott, who's there to transition into the new digital age
And
of life online.
and hypnotize people with the worst beard I've ever seen in
It's a
anyone.
terrible, terrible beard.
So the Ben Stiller character, Walter Mitty,
Yep.
has a bit of a relationship with a world-famous photographer, and
Sean O'Connell is the character name.
played by
Sean Penn.
Sean
He
Penn.
only goes by
yeah,
characters with the same name.
easy for him to remember.
Like Tony Danza.
Yeah, exactly. And this photographer has sent Walter the last roll of film.
Yep. With a specific instructions that negative number 25
Yep.
is to be used for the final
Yep.
cover.
And he also sent him a very handsome leather wallet.
Yeah.
Engraved with the life model.
How did he engrave it? Who knows?
This is just one of the many secrets that Sean keeps
Yep.
to himself. He's a world traveler.
Yep. And at the same time, Jared, if that wasn't enough,
Yes.
Walter also has a secret crush on Dame Kristen Wiig.
I don't know if I like you just handing out honorifics like this.
What was her name? Cheryl?
Cheryl something, yeah.
Yes, and she is as charming as she ever is, isn't she, Mandy?
Yes, she's adorable.
I'm not sure if that's Mandy or my seat talking to me, but this is a 2013 Chevy Cruze, a lot of bells and whistles.
High tech. All right, moving on.
Jared doesn't like this.
I just want to keep it light because my arm's getting tired. Let's be honest.
So long story longer, Walter has lost the negative
the
25.
negative isn't there, apparently. It's
Yep.
missing for some
He's
reason.
never lost one, though.
He's never lost one.
Millions.
He's gone through it. Never lost one.
So through, I don't even know what really motivated him other than his love of detective novels and Kristen Wiig inspiring him.
Well, he was being challenged by Adam Scott's character to present this cover photo, and he finally got an ultimatum and says, "Next time I see you, I want to see that cover." And I guess he had to adventure to go find it because he couldn't-
Something snapped, Jared,
Yeah, something snapped.
which
They
led
needed to
him.
move the plot forward.
Yes, he led him
Yes.
across a globe hopping adventure through Greenland and Iceland and all places in between.
So Walter Mitty, who has had a rich kind of inner life, he thinks he's sort of an action hero in
He
his mind.
daydreams
sort of
a lot,
zones out. He finally starts to actually take action in his life and go somewhere, do something.
Yes. And this movie is essentially that story of him
Yes.
finding the negative, or trying to find the negative, and trying to find himself.
Okay, sure.
So there we have it. We're not going to spoil it because this movie doesn't come out for a month.
December 25th, Christmas Day on your Julian calendar.
Yep.
Sorry, Gregorian calendar.
Adam says this might be Oscar bait. Let's talk to Jared, Adam, and Mandy
Yes.
and find out if they feel the same way. Adam,
All right.
go.
Just general feelings about the movie?
Yeah, what did you get?
I liked the movie. I have a feeling that opinion is not shared by the car, but I liked it.
The car doesn't have a say in it. It's just here to hold
I
us.
thought-
Except when my seat talks.
I thought Studio Cruz had a...
It's not Kit. All right? Kit would have something to say.
Well, he does something sassy.
Adam, please arm the grease guns.
I liked it. I'm a sucker for a movie like this. I think it's like very stylish in the way that a lot of it was presented. The way that the story kind of evolved with the music, I really liked, even if the music wasn't always stuff that I like. And I don't know. I liked how
You didn't like the covers of Hall & Oates in the elevator every time they got in? That was your issue?
This is another one of those movies where I was able to kind of guess what the end was going to be with some detail and didn't mind. And I always like when even if I can guess what's happening, I still like the movie, that means it was successful.
Well,
to me, personally,
okay.
in my opinion.
I'm just going to say, for the record, I assumed and I was correct that Negative 25 was a junk picture of Sean Penn's you-know-what.
Dick pic.
Completely right.
Yeah, he farved it.
Yep.
He farved it.
Totally did.
So, Mandy, do you want to add anything else? Do you agree completely with your fiancé or what?
I wasn't actually a giant fan. I really wanted to like it more than I actually liked it.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
I know.
Wow.
Next, cut her mic.
Yeah.
Done. Should
But
turn her off.
Doesn't have a
I do
mic.
agree with the styling of it, and I think it reminded me of Stranger Than Fiction a lot. How words show
Okay.
up and
Yeah.
it moves.
Who was in that movie, by the way?
Will Ferrell, wasn't it?
Will Ferrell, yes. Another comedian turned funny man turned serious man.
But I love that movie, and this one was just okay to me.
Gerard, you've seen a lot of movies.
Yes.
You're holding a camera. That means you're an expert. You're practically in the film industry.
All right. Well, that's all it takes. Where do I get my SAG card or my DAG card?
You play your
I don't
cards right, you might be a sir by the end of this review. Go.
Dare to dream. Let's start with what I liked.
All right.
I think as a... what the heck?
His hand is failing.
Wow. As a piece of cinema, I thought it was executed really well. The cinematography was beautiful. Mm-hmm. I heard someone say walking out that it looked like a Life magazine, like it was shot like it was Life magazine, and I agree with that. It really looked really good.
Probably super intentional,
A
wouldn't
lot
you say?
of vistas and a lot of sort of lovingly crafted shots.
Super saturated colors,
indeed.
almost fairy tale like.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the music. The soundtrack was really good. A lot of sort of, what'd you call it? Neutered rock.
We call it, yeah.
A lot of those songs, but they're good
Neutered
songs.
alt rock.
Where I have trouble with this film is that I'm not sure what the message is,
Yes.
and I feel
Agreed.
like I'm not sure if the message is I'm supposed to go out and have some adventure in my life and experience things, or if my message is supposed to I'm just to stay at home and be really good at my job.
Yeah.
And it's also unclear. It's like they sort of set it up like there's this big kind of mystery that has been set up for him to solve.
Sure.
But in the end, it turns out it's not really. Well, sorry, spoilers. In the end, it turns out there's really not a big mystery that was set up for him, and he just sort of manufactured it himself in his brain. So I don't know. I felt like the whole message was really, really confused.
Is it possible that the message is maybe to really experience life, you have to sometimes do whatever you need to tell yourself?
Is that what you got from the movie?
No, I don't really.
Because if you did, you're wrong.
The main message I got from this movie is you should visit Iceland because it is beautiful.
Yes.
This movie may have been paid for by the Iceland Tourism Bureau.
Look, and I don't necessarily need to have a message or a moral spoon-fed to me either,
Yeah.
but I felt like this was coming at several different angles and didn't really have a clear point of view, and that's what kind of bothered me about it.
I agree with you. The entire time I was watching this film, I was sort of scratching my head mentally. Like, what are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to get at? And I never really could quite pin it down. There's levels of inspiration that are sort of woven into this. You can accomplish anything, you can do anything,
Right.
but it didn't feel earned, I think.
Yeah, and part of it is that it's set up as it's set up as both realistic and a fantasy.
Yeah.
And it never quite decides which way it's going to go, because if it's supposed to be realistic, then Ben Stiller is one of the most physically fit people I've ever seen. But if it's a fantasy, then you have to cut it some slack. But since it doesn't decide which one it is,
Here's the message.
it's a problem.
Please tell me.
Jump onto helicopters, don't jump into buildings that are about to blow up.
Exactly. Don't jump into shark-infested waters.
No, do that, because it'll be okay.
I mean, and there were other things that, that tie into some of the realism versus fantasy that Jared talked
Please
about.
keep it verbose.
I'm going to do that. You want to know such? I can hold for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so...
You got the whole thing? Whoa, no, you don't. You know what?
I was holding the base.
You just get back. I got this under control.
All right, so
obviously we need to figure out some better tech for these winter car reviews here.
So the other thing that sort of pulled me out of the fantasy of the film was the rampant product placement in there. You've got the eHarmony, you've got the Papa John's, you've got the Cinnabon, you've got Time Life that's in there.
They kind of made fun of a lot of them.
They did, but it was there. And just like the fact, I mean, you have things like magical cell phones that can talk. They can be on the top of mountains without batteries being charged. You've got
and cell reception. I mean, it doesn't exist up there.
You can create your profile page for eHarmony via the phone. I never knew.
Well, no, he wasn't creating it via phone. It was the guy that worked there that was doing it.
Well, you want to sleep with Patton Oswalt so bad that you'll make up any excuse to justify his position in that movie.
Line, I think he said his name, and I leaned over to Mandy because he was just on the phone. I said, "That's Patton Oswalt."
No, you leaned over. What did you actually say? I jizz my pants. That's exactly what you said because you love him so much.
I knew it was Patton Oswalt from
I know from 1 second. He did half a syllable, Jared. That's when I knew.
The audience seemed genuinely shocked when Walter Mitty was in L.A. and they asked if he had anyone there who could vouch for him, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the eHarmony guy.
Yeah.
And then he shows up and they're like, oh,
there's not
really? Come on, you simpletons.
Yeah, it was a lot of weird plotting of convenience just to get things going, and I didn't appreciate that much.
Isn't it possible it was just a little bit of a middle-aged fairy tale set in the mostly real world?
Absolutely, it could absolutely be that. But
the problem is they're not consistent with it. Then I don't think that there's enough fairy tale. And if you're gonna do a fairy tale fantasy, then you need to have more of that in there.
If you want to do inspirational and you want to pull heartstrings, at the end of the day, and your girlfriend will agree with me till we both die, you've got to earn it. The movie didn't earn it.
I do 100% agree.
Thank you.
And I was like, you're just...
Get out, Adam.
Adam's out.
You're trying to get
glad I didn't wire him for sound.
Story,
Yep.
And it's not going to work.
And it wasn't really even all that touching. That's the thing,
No.
I never really felt like I wanted to cry. It's stuff like that where they're trying to manipulate you. Like
and you want to cry.
You feel every movie I go to, I want to cry. I want to tear it up, and it didn't work for me. But as Jared said, a lot of good things, but the gem of the story was not massaged enough. It was not. It just wasn't good enough. I think the film could have used a couple more drafts in screenplay, and you might have had something.
Need to find its voice a little and be a little more plain about it.
Thank you, Sir Jared. Thank you. So let's give this a score, shall we?
Indeed.
The Scope score is 2 stars.
2 stars. There we go. Adam overruled.
We had a good run, but it's about time we were gonna come up on something that was a bit of a clunker.
So there you go, guys. Secret Life of Walter Mitty, coming to theaters near you. Christmas time. Got a hunch it's not going to be in any Oscar. Maybe special effects, Jared.
I don't even know.
Maybe
about
cinematography.
that. Maybe.
Never. Jared says forget it.
I don't see any award nominations for this one. Sorry.
He doesn't see any award nominations.
That's
All right. So, hey, let's wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, I know your arm's getting tired.
Oh, it's numb at this point.
All right. So for Mandy, Adam, Jared, and myself, thanks for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, Jared. Make sure you download it. It's all on YouTube.
I held the camera for you.
He held the camera.
Subscribe or like it or something.
There we go. So later, everybody. Take this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope Faithful. The days shall pass as if they were but a moment, and Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying arrivederci. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.